What's up, everybody? It's your boy Adam. I'm back at you with another update of the Rise and Grind 35-day challenge. Trying to see how much I can get done in 35 days. And yesterday, I gave myself a rank on a scale of 1 to 10 of about a 5. I got up at 8:45 because I had a meeting with a client at 9. I barely know what day it is today. I'm always so tired in the morning. Hold on, I'm gonna get my coffee. And that meeting with my client at 9 a.m. went on for about an hour. And I set up a slow cooker to get a roast going. And so I got that all. I bought a slow cooker at the grocery store. You know, it's not a fancy one. But it's good enough. It's big enough, but not huge. I should be able to find a place in my small kitchen to make it fit. But it is hard because I really don't have cabinet space for kitchen stuff. It's one of the things I'm looking at when I'm casually looking at new places to live to see if anything pops up. And that's one of the things I'm paying attention to in the photos is, does the kitchen have enough countertop space, but even more importantly, storage space to have an actual kitchen? Kitchen. Does it have a dishwasher? That's kind of nice to have. But also making sure that it either has a washer and dryer if I'm going to rent a place, or it has hookups so that I can put a washer and dryer in it. That's a non-negotiable. It's too much effort to do laundry the ways that I have available to me right now. I make it work, but if I'm going to go and upgrade and find a better place to live, then so be it. But it does kind of like, now that I'm mentioning that, it does bring up that I get comments, and I'm not mad. Like, don't, because my attitude is gonna come out on this, but so I'm giving you the advance disclaimer that I'm actually not really mad, but there's this. People are going to get mad about this because I don't have a better term for it. Maybe there is a better term for it. This blue-collar mentality. And it's not making fun or ripping on people for having blue-collar jobs or doing blue-collar work. I know auto mechanics that are millionaires. I know, you can be very successful as a cook. There's lots of things you can do that are considered blue-collar work. But the way that you get successful in that kind of work is to own your own business. I think we all know that. If you're going to work that kind of a grind for somebody, you're the bottom of the food chain. You're barely going to get by. So that mentality is what I talk about with that mentality is the person that just shows up to the factory, punches the time clock, spends 30 years just working this grind of a job, 8 to 12 hours a day, punch the clock, go home, put your microwave dinner in the microwave and sit on your lazy boy watching football and drinking beer, and then wake up tomorrow and do it again, and that's the only ambition you have in life. And one of the things that people like that do, and like somebody's going to think I'm talking specifically about them, and I'm not. But one of the things that people like that do, because I've been dealing with this my whole life. I've been dealing with this kind of mentality my whole life because I grew up in a blue-collar kind of family, surrounded by a lot of that. And when you go, and I'm not saying like white collar, when you have ambition enough to get up off your ass and go do something with your life and build something, those kind of people don't like to see that, because they think that you need to take the safe path. It's like in a movie where, little Johnny wants to move to the big city and go make something of himself, and Dad's like, damn it, you just need to get a good job at the coal mine and they'll take care of you. Just stop dreaming about them city slickers and their ambitions and blah blah blah, and just go get a job at the coal mine like everybody else does. It's like, no, not everybody else does that. So why? So I can bust my ass for a fucking rich oil or a rich coal tycoon who lives in a mansion while I'm, underground getting a fucking black lung and die of cancer when I didn't even make enough money to make payments on my fucking trailer home? No. Like, maybe I got other things I'd rather do with my life. And so when I talk about, like, moving out of this place, I'll get comments about, like, why do you want to move out of there? Looks like you got yourself a nice place. You're not homeless anymore. Why would I want to move out of a tiny little place that has, a kitchen, a bedroom / living room, and a tiny little bathroom, when maybe I could find a better deal on something twice as big somewhere else with some land and more privacy than I have right now? Like, why would I ever want to do better? Like, or that's the mentality I'm getting at. People just want to, like, there's people who just have no ambition to want to do anything better with their life than where they are right now. Like, they're barely getting by. They cobbled together. They got themselves into, whatever it is. And that's it. I work at Dollar General. I live in a trailer home. I got a jalopy broken down car. I'm good. I got everything I need. That's the best I can do, and I'm not going to try to do anything better. And I'm sorry, but that's not who I am. I'm not like trying to, I'm not out trying to find a fucking mansion with, I'm not trying to move into the Biltmore estate. But I would like to have a place that's a little bit bigger. I would like to have an actual office with I'm on a tiny little desk. I have enough room for a laptop and a tiny little monitor on the wall here. I would like to have something like I used to have, where I had multiple computers and screens in front of me. It just makes the work that I do easier, that one thing. It'd be nice if my bicycle shop wasn't also in my kitchen. If I want to actually work on bicycles in here, I got to do a lot of crap just to protect the floor. And it's way better than it was living in a tool shed, but maybe I don't even need a garage per se, but it does kind of end up, a garage is the best place to do that kind of stuff, because a concrete floor, you're not going to worry so much about, getting oil and stuff. Put down some cardboard, put down some, you can make an area, a permanent area to work on bicycles where you're not going to worry about a garage floor getting oil stains. Just like I could think of I would like to have a bedroom that is a bedroom and a living room that's a living room. I don't know, like maybe like normal people have. And I'm not saying like everybody fits in, I'm not saying that everybody has these things. But sometimes the people that are up my ass telling me I shouldn't try to do any better than I'm currently doing live a lot better than I do. So why the fuck not? Whoa, it's good enough for you, but not me? Like, I don't get it. But I dealt with this kind of shit my whole life. That whole mentality. When I was a teenager, I'm going to go to art school and I'm going to become some sort of graphic designer or an artist for a living. I really didn't know what I was going to do. I went to vocational school when I was in high school, so I had a head start on everything, and I definitely had a very good education before I even went to art school as to like what kind of jobs I could go get and what kind of opportunities I could find, both at the bottom of the barrel to get your foot in the door, entry level stuff, and beyond that. And I can't even believe, I honestly cannot tell you how many times people would shit on me for that. Why don't you just go get a job at Wegmans? Why don't you just go learn or go get a real job? Go work at the factory, for crying out loud. Why you got to go do this arty farty shit? Like, you ain't gonna make nothing. I made $150,000 a year, you dumb motherfuckers, before I was stupid enough to do something to get the FBI to show up at my house. So yeah, that's nothing. How much did your fucking Wegmans job pay you after 30 fucking years of working in a fucking grocery store? Probably not that much, huh? So yeah, that's my bad attitude coming out. And it's just because I hear this. I've been hearing this shit since I was like 15 years old. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Like, I'm telling you, because I guarantee you, if you have any kind of ambition to do anything with your life, you're going to be surrounded by people who want to shit on you and tell you it's a bad idea and don't do that and don't chase after those dreams. Just go work at the factory, right? You can get a good job and you can get your benefits and blah, blah, right? Okay, fine. Like, there's just some people who have zero drive. And then they want everybody around them to be just like them. And that's the advice. Like, they want you to take their advice. It's like, if I took your advice, I'd be in a much worse situation. Even if I'd taken that advice, even with the criminal record and everything, it's my education, my background. It's all the things that I did before in my life it's the only reason I'm even able to survive right now. Like, I wouldn't be able to even fucking survive right now if I didn't do the things that I did before I got in trouble. Like, I'm leaning on all of that stuff now just to scrape by. Because I have skills, I have things that people are willing to pay for. And so, and I'll get comments about, I can't count the number of comments I've gotten in the last, 3-4 months from people. Why don't you just work at the bakery more? I thought you got a car so that you could go work more hours at the bakery. I'm like, well, I replied to somebody last night who left that comment, but I don't think he was trying to be a jerk or anything. I don't think he seems like a really nice guy. It's not like that. It just hits me the same way this shit has been hitting me since I was like 15 years old. Like, no, why would I go work a $10 an hour job that goes nowhere, busting my ass, completely wearing myself to the bone, working myself to the bone, coming home so exhausted I can barely get out of bed the next day, when I could stay here at home making 3 times more money working for freelance clients and building a business that could actually sustain me and could actually fund a better life. Like, just some people just don't. Some people who work at very physically demanding jobs, they have this mentality that if you don't do that, if you don't physically exhaust yourself and stand on your feet all day and come home covered in soot and black lungs and burns and cuts and scrapes and bruises and all that kind of stuff at the end of your workday, that you don't have a real job. If you sit at a desk and you write code all day, or if you do artsy-fartsy shit all day, that you don't have a real job. That's not considered, like, you're just playing. Like, you're just a little kid playing with crayons and shit. Like, that's how they view you. That's how they look at you. Like, that's what you're just a little kid playing and coloring in coloring books all day. You don't do any real work. And it's not the case. And so, like, I gave that. I put a polite reply on there. Maybe this guy just hasn't been watching the channel or whatever. But I've been working. I just said, look, I've been. He asked me why aren't you working at the bakery more hours? I thought you got a car so that you could take on more shifts. I'm like, my goal is to not work at a bakery at all. Like, it's like, why would my goal be to work 40 to 80 hours a week at a job that goes nowhere? And I'm not saying, like, I don't say that as an insult to them. It's just that's what it is. It's not like I'm gonna rise up the cookie empire and make a career out of that. No, it's you're gonna work there you're gonna work your fingers to the bone for barely enough money to survive. Barely. I don't even know how you would survive on that. This is a job where teenagers and college kids go get jobs, or women who are married who just want some side money because their husband makes all the dough. No pun intended, but it's not for a 50-year-old single guy who needs to fucking live. That's not a job for that. It's good enough to help me along the way, but anybody should have more ambition than that in life. And so that's all I'm getting at. Like, why the fuck would I focus on that when there's bigger things to focus on? I'm trying to build a business. I'm trying to build something sustainable. I'm trying to make more money, have better opportunities to do things. And so, yeah, like I said, not every day I don't have the energy every day. Yesterday was one of those days, that's for sure. But I'm sharing this because it's something that, as an artist, I know a lot of artists. I know a lot of musicians, artists, graphic artists, illustrators, designers, photographers, you name it. I know tons of people who do this kind of stuff. And it's the one thing we all have in common, is that it's very rare to have family or friends or like a significant other or anything like that in your life that will actually support what you do. It's so rare. Because, like I said, most people look at you like you're just a stupid little kid coloring in a coloring book all day because I'm an artist for a living. But I make 3 times more than you. I mean, usually the people who tell me that, in my prime, let's just say if we back up the bus to before I went to prison for a tweet, I might be making 3 times more than the person telling me that I don't have a real job. And I'm like, well, like, where are you even coming from with that? And it drives it. Like I said, I've been dealing with that kind of mentality since. It's just that whole limiting beliefs, they call it, in the self-help improvement, Tony Robbins-esque landmark forum spheres of influence. Hold on a second. They call it a limiting belief. It's something that you believe that you're not good enough to be something because of where you were born, who you are, where you grew up, where you went to school or whatever. That you're not good enough to do something because that's what rich people do, or because I didn't go to the right school, or I'm not old enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. And it's all bullshit most of the time. I mean, yeah, I definitely know that I'm not gonna be able to go play for the NBA. I'm not tall enough. I'm not good enough at basketball. You know what I mean? There aren't that many white guys playing basketball. And I'd get killed. I wouldn't be able to, there are things that I can't do. I'm not going to be a professional cyclist. I'm way too old for that. I'm like way too heavy for that. Probably, oh, let's see, 80 pounds too heavy for that. You got to be like 150, 160 pounds as a man to even be able to compete with that, because I'm carrying an extra 80 pounds on a professional cyclist. So how am I going to get up Alpe d'Huez in the Tour de France carrying 80 extra pounds of fat up that hill when all these kids weigh like 150 pounds and they're all muscle? They don't look at their skin. They look skinny as hell, but that's the weight, not having to carry all that extra weight, and when your legs are this big around, yeah, you're going to go up that mountain really fast. And it's just, the whole thing is just, so there are things that I know I can't do. There are things that you can't do. But when you know in your heart that you can do something, but you're surrounded by the naysayers, why would you go chase after that? Why don't you just go work in the coal mine like everybody else does? I guess you're just too good for that, huh? Like, fuck you. That's what I want to say to these people when because that's the attitude that you get from people is, I guess you're just too good for that. You're not one of us. No, I'm not one of you. And I am too good to go fucking get black lung in a fucking coal mine. I can do better than that. I can do better than being a piece of cattle. Here, you fucking dirty piece of shit. Go dig some coal and ruin your fucking life and your health so that I can get rich living in my mansion at the top of the hill, like the former governor of West Virginia. What was his name? Jim Justice? I don't even know. But these people, while you can't even afford health insurance, how you gonna deal with your black lung when you know what I mean? Like, they don't give a shit about you at jobs like that. You got to take care of yourself. And once again, I'm gonna get off of this subject and finish out the video, but like that, I've been dealing with that kind of shit since I was 15 years old. I don't mean to like repeat myself 6 times here, but I'm just trying to make a point and drill it in that if you try to do anything with your life that is like off the beaten path and you're surrounded by the regular folks, the NPCs, the non-playable characters in the video game, whatever you want to call it, they're going to try and steer you back onto the path, the safe and narrow path. That's not safe. It's not safe at all. You can work at the factory making dog shit money, punching that time clock at your safe job, or you can work in the fucking coal mine at your safe coal mine job, and they can tell you to kick rocks and go kick you to the curb any day because, we got a robot to do that now. Or, who knows? You can lose your job. What do you think they're going to do to you when you're too old to work in the coal mine? You think you're going to get a pension and some sort of retirement package? You're going to be kicked to the fucking curb to go down to the local biker bar and get drunk every night till you pass out, you lose your trailer home, and you're sleeping out on the street. Nobody gives a fuck about you, and it's not like that anymore. You're not going to get a job where people are going to take care of you when you're too old to work. The only way you're going to take care of you is you. And so you got to figure it out, do something. But when you have ambition, when say you got an idea for a business and you have this vision, you invented something, you decided to go, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be on Shark Tank and Mark Cuban's going to offer me money for my company or fund me or whatever. People are going to call you an idiot. People are going to tell you you're stupid. You're going to deal with so much shit from people that the only way you'll ever be successful and be able to actually execute and follow your dreams like that is you don't have to tell them to fuck off, But when people are shitting on you like that, you're going to have to just ignore it and just do your thing. Do what's right for you. Believe me, the worst thing you can do is listen to what everybody tells you. I'm just saying. I've seen this in my line of work, in the creative sphere of work. Like I said, I know a lot of artists. I know a lot of musicians, photographers, all kinds of artists, programmers, everything. And do you know how many people will tell you the same story? Everybody in my family, everybody in my life told me I'm an idiot. Stop chasing after your dreams. Oh, I guess you're going to be Mr. Artsy Fartsy or whatever. Like, I can tell you, most of the people I went to art school with had that kind of support network. A shit support network where the only support you got was from each other. We all became friends and we all knew the struggle because we're all going through it and we're all a bunch of starving artists, art students, whatever you want to call it. But those outside of us didn't understand. Like, you know how many people I went to art school with who were from, I lived in Pittsburgh, so a lot of them were from West Virginia. You know how many of the art students I was in art school with had families telling them, why don't you just go work at the coal mine like everybody else? I'm not making this shit up. This is what I've dealt with since I was 15 years old. And so I'm just going to leave it there for today because I'll talk about this all the time. But don't let people who want to take a dump on you because you had a good idea stop you from doing it. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Just don't let people stop you. That's all. I'm not going to listen to people who tell me, why don't you just stay in the shitty little apartment that you live in now? Well, because I feel like I could do better. Why don't you just get more hours at the bakery and stop trying to run your own business? Yeah, why would I do that? Why would I want to do better for myself? I have no idea. So it just let the people talk, but don't listen to them. And I'm not saying it to be a dick. I'm just saying this because I would not have gotten where I was in life and where I'm going in life and where I am now if I listened to people. I really wouldn't. In fact, the less I listen to the advice, unless it's advice from somebody that knows what they're talking about, the better off I am. Everything is. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, the more I don't play by the rules, and let's just forget about the whole FBI incident and that. Generally speaking, when it comes to career advice, the less I play by the rules, the better I do. And I've got a live stream coming up tonight. I'll talk about that. If you're watching this video and you're not a channel member, the live stream would have already happened, so you can go watch the replay of that. But I talk about this stuff all the time, so just stick around. Back to yesterday, since I'm half an hour in to this one, just to kind of wrap it up. I was very exhausted after my client meeting. I went and laid down. The bakery job, once again, the bakery job had me so exhausted yesterday that I laid down I felt like I was just going to lay down for a few minutes. It ended up being a 3-hour long nap after I'd only been awake for an hour. And I went back and just laid down and fell asleep for 3 more hours. And that pretty much killed my day. Riding my bicycle to the bakery leaves me better off the next day than driving. So there you go. Another thing, why now that you got a car, why don't you drive to the bakery? Driving to that job and driving home will leave me more physically exhausted at the end of the day and the next day than riding my bicycle to and from it. And the reason I know is because lately I've been riding my bicycle more than I drive to that job. And I'm telling you, that's been consistent. just getting the exercise, whatever. Just loosening up the body. Like, I do really poor. Me, personally. I'm not good at standing on my feet all day. It hurts. It's pain. Um, and that pain, standing at that job for 8 hours on my feet, where, you're just standing most of the time, it hurts a lot less when I rode my bicycle there beforehand to loosen up my body. And then riding my bicycle home, by the time I get home, I just feel like I worked out really hard. But when I come home from standing all day at that, doing that kind of work, when I drive, my whole body from like my neck to my tailbone and beyond is just like achy and sore and just pain. And that's just my body. My body just doesn't tolerate standing in one place all day. I was going to go to the gym yesterday, but because I was so exhausted and because of the nap, I decided to cut that out. I'm probably just not going to go to the gym on Tuesdays. I think until the bakery thing is till it's run its course. And it ended up being too late to get a roast started to have it done for dinner. So I just I joined a YouTube call. I did this thing called the creator community on YouTube, where you get like somebody who's like your manager or whatever from YouTube. Basically, it's a human being you can talk to if you need to. But I just kind of like sit back in these things and let other people talk, because it's not my crowd. I'm just not gonna lie. It's just not my. It's basically, it's the woke people. I just feel like I'm surrounded by the Dr. Fauci COVID cult woke people who are offended by everything. And like, I just heard something about this musician, that Sarah Carpenter chick or whatever. Is that her name? She's singer, and she her whole fan base are these people, the woke people, the woke crowd. They're all like into her. And then she said something that offended people at this concert, and she was losing all of her fans all of a sudden because she said something offensive. I mean, Jesus fuck, man. If you right there, there go all the Christians. But like, yeah, I mean, I'm already like, here's my disclaimer. If you're somebody who gets offended, get the fuck out, because I'm gonna offend you. It don't matter. You're Democrat, Republican, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, black, white, Chinese, Mexican, whatever the fuck you are, I'm going to offend you at some point. Just get the fuck over it. Get over it. I'm Gen X. I don't give a shit about who gets offended. Like, that's not what we grew up with in my my generation. Like, that's a new thing that these dumbass kids came up with. That, oh, we're going to get offended every time somebody says something. Yeah. Do your thing. But anyway, that's the crowd that shows up to these YouTube meetings. So I keep my mouth shut for the most part. So, but it took time out of my day. I don't really feel like I got any. Sometimes I get something out of it. Sometimes I meet cool people, but it's not often. And then after the YouTube meeting, I recorded a video for you guys, but then I started working on a client project, but I got a very, very late start, and but I did get a lot done. And I worked on that project up until about 10 o'clock at night. Just sat in front of my computer. Once I get into that zone, I'm going. I sat and I listened to podcasts, YouTube videos, that kind of stuff in the background. And I just code and screenshots and measuring and code. And I've got a design that I'm matching. Basically, it's like the blueprint for the house. And now I'm building the house from the blueprint, and I'm just one step at a time, and it goes really smooth. You run into a bug. How do I fix this bug? AI is good at helping you write code, or Like instead of having to do straight up research, like, oh, I forgot what CSS property does this and that, I can just go straight to Google Gemini, Grok, Claude, whatever, and just be like, hey, here's this block of code. Give me a line of code that does this. Boom, put it in. Um, it does speed up the process a little bit, but you still have to know what you're doing to get the job done. And just because AI spits something out at me doesn't mean it's the right answer either. But I got a lot done on the project. And even though I got a late start, I worked late until about 10 p.m. And then about 10 o'clock, I was like, I got to get started on that roast if I want to get a roast done. So at 10 o'clock at night, I peeled garlic, cut up some potatoes, peeled carrots, cut up carrots, did all the prep work, seared a roast, got a nice sear on both sides of the roast, and got it all put in the slow cooker, had that ready, had that started at 11 p.m., but I hadn't eaten anything all day other than a protein bar. That was the only thing I ate so far. So unfortunately, even though it's like 11 o'clock, I shouldn't be eating at all. I was hungry. So I ended up cooking a couple of breaded chicken sandwiches in the oven while I filtered. I forgot I had these 3 half-gallon jars of cold brew in my fridge. They had to be filtered. That's a process, so I did that and washed some dishes. Didn't get it all done because the coffee filtering it blows up the kitchen. That's one of the reasons why I want a dishwasher when I move, is because when I make cold brew coffee, it creates a lot of work in terms of washing dishes. And I need to lay out drying mats, and like I don't have enough room for the stuff to dry. I have a pretty cramped kitchen here. It's a kitchen though. It's not like I'm cooking next to a tiny little sink on a hot plate where I can reach my cooking pot from my toilet anymore. It's better than that prison cell layout, but this isn't a kitchen. If you like to cook, this is not a kitchen for someone who likes to cook. It's just not. And so, but I'll get there. It ain't no thing. I have more room to cook and prep food when I go camping and set up a camp kitchen than I have in my kitchen at home here. And that's not supposed to be the case. But it is what it is. And it's like, could I live like this for another year? Sure. I'm not in a hurry to move out of this place. I gotta find a place that is... I did spend time yesterday. I do every day. I kind of poke around, mostly on Facebook Marketplace, which is a total shit show. That whole Facebook website, everything about Facebook is a complete disaster. I can't even believe how bad that whole thing has turned into such a massive train wreck. It's funny, but like how they made it so bad, I don't know. But it's the woke it's the woke retards that kicked everybody out. Now you got the woke idiots who took over tech, kicked everybody out, who, like somebody like me who says something that might offend somebody. I'm not going to be able to work at a company like that ever. So but problem is the people that know what they're doing typically don't give a fuck about who gets offended. So you get a bunch of fucking idiots that can't do anything. And they, it's just a bunch of dudes running around in fucking dresses with their dicks cut off, wanting to get a fucking trophy for it, but they don't know how to do their job. But that's who the company hires because we're woke. So, that's what you get. Facebook is what you end up with. That pile of shit that everybody's leaving. That's what you end up with at the end of the day when you run your business like that. So anyway, I got the chicken sandwiches, relaxed. I got like half an hour of chill time and I was out. Went to bed. This morning I got up, so I gave yesterday a rank of a 5, scale of 1 to 10, mainly because the first half of the day I didn't do squat, but I did get a second wind, and I did get a lot done. By 10 p.m. I felt like I accomplished some things. Today is kind of similar, but I'm not I don't have a 3. I would still be sleeping right now if I followed the same pattern as yesterday. So without the 3-hour nap, I got up at like 9:45. It's another rough morning. But like my second wind is gonna hit me here in another, I don't know. This I turned the slow cooker down to warm, so it got about 11 hours on that roast, and it's basically a stew with carrots and onions and potatoes and corn and red peppers and green peppers and who knows, I don't even remember everything. Oh, and whole chunks of garlic, and yeah, it's a good thing I'm waiting for here. That's done. It's ready to go. As soon as I get off this video and start uploading that, I'm going to get me some really delicious food, and my second wind will strike. And I'm not going to the gym today. I'm going to do a live stream at 6 o'clock. I'm already prepared for that. And, generally speaking, I'm not a morning person. I'm just never going to be. Especially when I'm in charge of my own schedule. I would say most of the time. When I'm in charge of my own schedule, I really don't get moving until sometime afternoon. Sometime in the afternoon, I start really digging into things, and I end up going till late at night, sometimes midnight, sometimes 2 in the morning, and then I wind down and go to sleep. And it's just like, that's just my natural rhythm, to stay up late, sleep in. The people that get up at 4 in the morning and go right at it, they're usually in bed like 10 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock at night for me is like 6 to most people. So like if I'm going out and socializing, going out like back in my party days, I don't even want to get to the bars until 10 o'clock. Like I'm not going out partying at 8 o'clock at night. Like the party don't even really get started till 10. So maybe it's just from my art school days and my party days that I'm just a night person. I don't know, but that's just, some people are, we're all different. So I'm not trying to compare myself to, David Goggins can get up at 3 in the morning and go on a 100-mile run before he sits down to do his work for the day or whatever he does. That's not me. So don't worry about it. The only things I got going on today, I'm going to try to jam out. I do feel like if I buckle down, other than with the live stream, the YouTube interruption, I really feel like I can get these web pages that I'm working on for this website across the finish line, or very, very close. And then I can move on to something else for that same client, which is pretty much never-ending work for that. That's a never-ending project that I'm working on right now, and which is good because I'll be working. It keeps me paid. I've got to deal with, now that I've got some plants around my house, and now that it's spring and the temperature's getting warm, all of a sudden I'm getting extra fruit flies flying around and buzzing around. And they drive me insane when I'm sitting in front of my computer, because the computer screen attracts them. And so they'll just fucking fly right in front of my eyes, but they won't land. It gets on my nerves like crazy. And so I got to deal with those. And it's just other insects, fire ants, other bugs, like they're all coming out now. And so I've got to probably take time out of my week to attack those and just harden my place, because I guess it's bug season now. Haven't had any issues with bugs for months. for months. Honestly, not since like June or July of last year was the last time I had any issues at all, other than piles of fire ants out in the yard, but that get a little close to the house sometimes, and that's when you gotta that's when you gotta nuke them. But I'm gonna have to spray some stuff. I'm gonna have to basically take a day of my life to harden this place to keep that at bay. And that's, one of the joys of living down south. You get bugs back home. I mean, I used to get them all. I mean, I used to live out in the woods in a nice house, but it was out in the woods. And oh my God, the amount of things, mice, bugs. I had snakes come in the house, squirrels, chipmunks. Chipmunks would come in the house. I can't even think of animals. Like, here's a freaking fruit fly flying right in front of me right now. It's pissing me off. I can't stand those things. But the plants, I've got house plants, and now they're attracted to that. And now they want to, now they're even more, willing to be here in the house. Now I got to figure out, okay, now what do I do? So, because I still want to have some plants. But now I got to deal with the downside of it. So it's just like, come on, man. So I got to deal with that. That's today. But I'll leave with one final thing. I know somebody's going to get mad that the video is too long, but then if I made it too short, somebody's going to complain about the video being too short. So I like to say, if you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, do whatever the fuck you want, because you can't make everybody happy, so why try? But just to kind of I had to do a little keeping things in perspective yesterday. I have this log, and I don't update this on a daily basis, maybe once a month. But as of today, I've been out of prison for 744 days. I have 352 days of probation left to serve. And it's annoying. They haven't been horrible to me since I moved to Texas. But it's annoying to have that hanging over your head and to have to deal with that and to have to do the things that are involved with that. Especially when you're trying to rebuild your life from nothing and just trying to scrape together survival, but you got those people breathing down your neck at times too. It's very annoying. And I was kind of feeling that yesterday for whatever reason, because they weren't bothering me yesterday. It was just all that stuff was kind of hanging in the air yesterday. And so this is why I go and I look at this log, these numbers, just to kind of put it in my head. I've been in Texas for 582 days now. And I've lived right here where I'm sitting right now. I've lived here for 320 days. There's a date calculator. You can type in 2 dates and it'll tell you how many days we're in between. And so it's not like I sit here and count them. It's just easy to go to a website like that and figure these things out. I've owned a car for 206 days. It doesn't even feel like it's been that long since I bought this car. And so it doesn't even feel like I've lived in this place very long. Last week or the week before, I finally finished laying out my space. I put a couch in the living room / bedroom combo room. And that was the last big piece that I designed out the space, how I was going to lay it all out within a week or so of moving into this place. And I knew generally how much it was going to cost. And then I spread that out over about 10 months and did one thing at a time. And, that workbench that you see behind me was planned like a week after I moved in. I knew that's what I was going to do there. the couch, all of the stuff, everything I've done to the place has been thought out way in advance. And I'm finished with it now. There's nothing I can do to this place in terms of big furniture or things like that. There's no more room. The only thing I could do from here is just create storage hacks, shelving, and places to put things and organize things, like I just did with my bathroom. I put up a few small shelves that transformed a pile of unmanageable stuff under my sink and this like vanity bag thing that hangs from a hook on the wall that it was so out of control I couldn't find anything anymore. Put up a handful of shelves, and now I have 2 empty shelves. I've started figuring out what goes where, but like now everything's organized in there, and it's way better just because I put up a few small shelves. So that's the kind of stuff I can continue to do at this place while I live here. But my mind is also like, I could just pack up and leave at the end of next month or the month after that or a year from now, but whatever. It's not permanent. So when I just don't feel like I've lived here that long. And I haven't owned a car for long at all. And when I look at the amount of time I have left in my paper prison sentence, where I'm still on paper, they call it, where I still have to report to these people could show up while I'm talking to you right now, barge in the door and just start ripping my house apart if they felt like they wanted to. And there's nothing I could do about it, because you don't have rights, especially when you're a piece of shit convicted felon. You don't have any rights anymore. But the amount of time, it's within a few weeks, I'll have more time sitting here in my space that I've been living in now for almost a year. I will have lived here longer than I have left on paper. And so it changes your mindset. It changes your perspective of, I know how fast time has gone by since I moved into this place. It's like mind-blowingly fast. And so when I look at it that way, and I see how much time I have left to deal with this bullshit from the government, okay, I can probably make it. It's probably going to go by so fast that I don't have to worry about it. Just get through it, jump through whatever hoops that they put in front of me. It's like being at one of those dog shows. You got to run around and jump through the hoops and jump over the fence, and you got some rich asshole yelling at you to heel and bark, and somebody comes up and looks at your tail and checks your ears and all that stuff, and you get a score on whether you're a good doggy or not. That's basically what it is. And but in 352 days, I don't have to do that anymore. And after this 35-day challenge, it's going to be like, it's not even going to be that long, another month and a half, and it'll be under 300 days. So I just got to keep, I compare. I've lived in this place almost a year, and it don't even feel like I just finished setting up my place. And it doesn't feel like I've lived here that long. And I can find ways to occupy the time and keep busy and just keep pushing life forward and working on things and building things and trying to have enjoyable experiences, etc., etc. And that time will go by. And then I'm off the hook. I could sell everything I own and buy a camper van and just go live on the road and be like one of those van life people on YouTube if that's what I want to do. I could do anything I want at that point. So that's where I'm at. I'll keep this video just under an hour, and I'll report back tomorrow. And Maybe the people who thought this video was too long, maybe I'll give you a short one tomorrow, and then I can deal with the negative comments from the people who said the video is too short. But anyway, I'm going to say peace out for now.